So today I just wanted to record a pretty simple YouTube video. Um, I had a video, I did this before, but anyways, I just really like the whole, I don't know, I guess you want to say like classic RPG feel of basically being Lulu. I think she might be my new favorite jungler, even if she's not necessarily the best. I don't know. I think she's honestly right up there with like Kane and Senna and Tarek, more or less. I'm not sure if she's necessarily number one, but I think she's my favorite just because of the way she looks. She reminds me of an RPG. Like, we have like three characters that we're fighting with. We have the little Yordle and her little Poro picks, and what was this thing called? Scorch Claw Pup. So it's really fun, like just even just like watching them move around and stuff. And attack things together. It's pretty cool. Let's see. For this particular game, I don't know who this Spywalker person is. Our names being similar was either a coincidence, or I guess matchmaking is trying to match you with people with similar names, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this was actually a ranked game, but it was like iron or bronze or something, so yeah, it doesn't really. It's not really a high rank, so if you guys are wondering if will this work in your high rank games, I mean, maybe. It probably depends on how well you know matchups and stuff and your decision making and so on. Anyway, I wish a 1.25 times speed were possible, or even 1.5. 1.75 would also be nice to have, but none of those speeds exist in the replay system. It's 1x or 2x, or like 4x or 8x. Like, what? Why does it go up so high? We can literally just click on the timeline. There's no need for it to fast forward quite that fast. Anyway, so we're just gonna have to settle for 1x speed. I can just not pressure myself to talk particularly fast. So the previous game I played this day when I played this match, my first ranked game was miserable because we got a really bad jungler for our team. But the enemy jungler was fine. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just. Because I had jungler as my secondary, so I was like, this doesn't make sense. We shouldn't have to play with this guy if he doesn't know how to jungle. They could have just asked me to jungle instead. So, because matchmaking was being a jerk, I decided to pick a jungle primary for this match. And so I got jungle, and I just picked a support champ like I normally would. Well, I mean, I was thinking about picking Kane, but I decided not to pick Kane on the basis of we have a Zed who is an AD mage, kind of like Kane is, anyways. So, yeah. Figured we don't need multiple champions of the same archetype in middle and jungle. I'd rather them be different. So I've been able to make Kane plus a Zed work in the past, but as far as my memory serves me, it's more likely to not work than it is to work. So I have noticed that when I try to make stuff like that work, what ends up happening is sometimes I'll end up getting some. Well, actually, I'm not going to talk about that. Never mind. I don't know. It's just like, I mean, as a Lulu jungler, like, I think people are less likely to care who gets the kill, and they're less likely to baby rage about that kind of thing. Um, so I was able to get this scuttle, but as you can see, I took a lot of damage because my I didn't have lane priority. Like both of my allied laners were gone. In fact, there was a big, huge wave smashing into our tower as I was retreating to it. So I did not die, but it's really awkward because now we're put in a position where we are scouting out the dragon to confirm that they are taking the dragon, and then Ezreal's actually not coming to help, and neither is Zed. So it's just the two of us here, and of course I end up getting killed because I get ignited. And I die at least once more because I get ignited again. But that's up in like top lane when I'm like dueling the one of the champions up there. I won't tell you which one it is, so that way it doesn't get spoiled. Or I probably already said too much. Anyway, I was probably waiting for a little bit more gold for an item, whereas Lux was waiting for her HP to get back to full. So we were able to cancel a dragon, but they did pick up a kill. I thought that was kind of interesting. They didn't take it yet. I guess it probably wouldn't hurt to watch some stuff, but eh. At some point or another, I remember helping this guy out. I have no idea if somehow I missed me helping him out or what. But they both ignite each other and both die, so that's pretty interesting. Anyway, so it's a little bit hard to see the Portal Pix or the Scorch Claw Pup since we're like in the bushes. It's kind of interesting how even the Scorch Claw Pup visually does seem to be quite a fair distance away from the bush. It's still invisible or like transparent, like such to indicate invisibility to the enemy team. I think that's kind of interesting. They make it so the Scorch Claw Pup doesn't get seen. I will have to comment when I turned on Fog of War and did look at the enemy team's vision. Although we could not see me later moving into the dragon pit, we were somehow able to see the basic attacks from Lulu inside the Fog of War. Now I'm wondering if that's a glitch with the skin, or if it's a glitch in replays, or what exactly. I don't know. I might keep an eye out for if I see an enemy Winter Wonder Lulu skin in the future. If they're, I don't know if they would actually even be jungling, but because Lulu would typically be fighting minions or enemy champions if they're attacking something, so it would not surprise me if Lulu jungle actually had a bug. But I'm not joking. I think this might actually be a problem, either with her skin or with Lulu on the whole, where you can actually see her basic attacks inside the Fog of War. Like I said, normally it's not an issue in Lulu's games. It's not going to affect her win rate. But because I am playing her as jungle, people, if they suspect that I could be soloing Dragon, which is exactly what I did there, I actually had some wards. There was one here. and one here. But, yeah, I was able to sneak by them. And I almost pick up a kill here, but I think Lux wasn't quite ready. She wasn't, maybe like one or two more basic attacks from her probably would have picked up the kill, but she was a little bit out of range. But that's okay. She was playing very cautiously. I think she was possibly playing too cautiously earlier when I died, but I'm not going to be too critical of that. Anyway, people tend to be pretty cautious in general in these games, I've noticed. Anyway, I actually had an ARAM game just last night where I had a refreshingly aggressive Nunu ally that was running Dark Harvest. For some reason, he was building a lot of AP, which is fine. I don't really mind too much one way or the other, but anyway, yeah, he had the highest damage on our team to enemy champions, at least anyway. I actually was the only one in that game that had more damage mitigated than taken, and I was playing Kassadin, so you could sort of guess what kind of player I tend to be in ARAMs. I tend to prefer to be the tank if nobody else is going to be. Anyway, we won that game. I think I got like a triple kill, maybe even an ultra kill. At that, I think maybe Nunu got an ultra kill. I know I got a triple kill at least anyway. That was a pretty cool game, I guess. Both of us had Dark Harvest, the others did not. I don't think we had particularly good teammates, but then the people on the enemy team were not very good either, so I think it was alright. Actually, only won 2 out of 4 games of ARAM when I most recently played it, my last session of playing it. So this was an interesting moment where Olaf separated from Urgot rather quickly, and Renekton was like, I'm just going to go back to farming, which kind of did two things. One is sort of lowered Urgot's guard so I could catch him, and another just made sure that he could go back to dominating his lane. And it also sort of punished Olaf for separating from Renekton and Urgot so quickly. So Olaf did end up throwing like an axe at me or whatever. I'm not sure if it hit me or not, but it didn't really bother me that much. Anyway, Renekton's been able to do quite well, which really made things a lot easier for us on the whole. So even though maybe me and Ezreal and Lux all made some mistakes here and there, I don't know if Zed made mistakes generally or not. I know he could have helped that one time when there was like people fighting over Dragon, but it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. I think it was more of an issue that Ezreal didn't respond in any case, but either way you look at it, I was able to basically deny the enemy from getting the dragon, even though I did trade my death. So that's, I don't know, it's surprising. I don't think I should have gotten away with being able to stop them from taking dragon and then soloing it myself later. I feel like they should have been able to punish me, but somehow they kind of messed it up, I feel like. They weren't able to punish my mistake properly, so might as well take the draws when available, I guess you could say. You don't always necessarily get wins when you want them, but taking a draw rather than a loss is always nice. That was interesting. So he hit that plant for vision, but it didn't actually give him vision of me. Like, how did that happen? What angle did he hit it at? It's a little bit confusing. this point, I wasn't sure if I should recall because there's a dragon up. Plus, also, they're sort of like pushing the wave. I'm not sure what happens next. I definitely get, Yoni is trying to like chase me away. I'm like trying to avoid doing a camp because it's gonna lower my HP. Unless, of course, I shield myself, which is gonna slow down me getting the camp. If I slow down me getting the camp. In this situation, I think we end up giving them the dragon because they have a control ward there. So even if I had a ward, I wouldn't be able to plant it in there. I could get vision. So I just have to plan to take out that control ward later. In any case, for some reason I decided it's best for me to recall here, so I do it. Probably to pick up an item. That's why I didn't fight at the dragon. Because I was saving up. Because I had barely had anything. I wanted to get my Nasher's Tooth before the dragon, so I was gonna recall, and I probably should have, but I wasn't sure if my team was farming or not. But they were farming, so I should have just recalled. So that was a mistake. But at least I didn't overextend and didn't feed them a kill on top of the dragon. Because I honestly feel like I could have contested that dragon, even if it would have just been by myself. But I wasn't sure how quickly they were going to do the dragon. So, but nobody on my team was interested in stalling them. In this case, I do notice that he's somewhat low, so I thought it was somewhat risky to fight him. But I thought maybe I could handle it, so I was doing a little bit of limit testing here. Anyway, it's Olaf, so it's kind of hard to fight him. It actually got really close, but unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of minions, so... Actually, I want to rewind this. I actually don't think he ignited me. I think I might have just literally died to minions, which is kind of silly. Yeah, I don't think he had any actual damage over time on me. I don't think he has damage over time. Look at this, I'm like 115, and I continue to get hit by those minions to death. I guess that's because I don't have armor. Anyway, yeah, my character... yeah, right now I just have regular boots, the tooth, and the pup. That's it. I don't have any armor to speak of. So if I had had so much as a plate of steel caps, I probably would have lived against those minions. Something to think about. Anyway. Actually decided to buy Boots of Swiftness this match. I'm not sure when that happens, but figured it'd be useful for chasing. I feel like you could get mostly any kind of boots is Lulu jungle. But anyway, that's what I ended up going with for this particular match. I don't know if that's really was the best choice or not. I know I can get slowed by Olaf and Nautilus, so it's not the worst choice, for sure. Anyway, these like three characters like fighting the jungle monsters is just so cute. The Poro Pix reminds me of like a Moogle, kind of like I'm playing World of Final Fantasy or something. Anyway, unfortunately, if you're attacking a tower, your little creatures are just sort of on standby, I guess. But yeah, you can like cast your E on an enemy, and your Pix will jump on the enemy, and the wolf will of course be attacking it normally. or the claw pup, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, the pup is like able to like send out these healing uh bursts. I don't know what else you would call it. Like, look at that. The green missile like travels from the claw to Lulu. This was interesting. So I actually shielded him and she went for him, and then I used my ultimate on him because it wasn't enough. I think he might have even. I'm not sure. I want to see. Did he shield himself as well with his thing, or was that on cooldown? It's hard for me to tell. Hold on. He might have used it. No, it's gotta look. Okay, it's available right now, actually. So he is being chased. Put it on half speed. Yeah, so it was a little bit hard for me to protect him, but he was able to partially protect himself. So yeah, in between my protection and his, that was great. I was trying to polymorph her, but I wasn't able to get it off. She was able to jump. Actually, I want to rewind that again. Let's focus on Kaiza. Yeah, so I was not able to polymorph her until like right at the very end, where it probably didn't matter anymore. Or maybe I even cast it on somebody else accidentally, who knows. Anyway, doing the ultimate and the 2 shields, it seems like it was enough. Maybe even a 3rd shield with Lux. Did Lux throw a shield? She might have. She was there too, actually. Actually, it looks like she's throwing every spell first before she throws her shield, which isn't necessarily wrong, but I feel like she had time to cast everything personally, but what do I know? I mean, she did press E twice, so there's that. But anyway, let's not be too nitpicky. I mean, she did help kill the enemies, so it's whatever. This was an interesting moment where I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to do here. I kind of want to rewind this. Like, what was the only thing? He's stealing our camp. So he's taking our red buff. And then they figured, why not try to take our big raptor thingy too? And Lux is like, nah, I'm going to defend my jungler's camps. So she helps me take my red buff. So that was nice of her. And Ezreal's like, well, I'm gonna help you clear out this camp. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. If there's like, if somebody, especially if they kill like the large monster and just leave like some small monsters, you should kill the monsters so that way your jungler can get at least large monster respawned. But also if like most of the, like if they've done the camp but they just like moved on anyways, you might as well just help them clear it, because that way we can respawn, so that we can get a full camp worth of golden experience later. Because the camps respawn pretty quickly, so I mean, you don't want to do your jungler's camp right in front of their nose, but once they walk away, I think it's fine to go for it. Especially if a few the monsters have been killed already. Also, like if they're done with their build too, then you can just take all the camps you want pretty much. As long as you're not like wasting time doing it when there's something else you should be doing. Looks like Nautilus like disconnected or something. So at this point, it's like I guess we basically win. Anyway, I'm not even sure what we're looking at anymore. We're supposed to be watching Lulu. Oh yeah, let's rewind to this. So we actually had vision on this guy, didn't we? Yeah. Got a couple of wards down here. So between me and Israel, we were able to take him out. I did use an ignite on him to secure a kill on him. Since he's jungler, he's the one that's going to smite anyways, and his allies weren't around, so they couldn't prevent Ezreal from taking the dragon there. Now I got the red buff and the Baron buff. As you can see, we have 2 dragons and they have 1, so... Anyway, and that was the match. It's not going to show you I don't know why this is still a glitch that exists, but in the post-game lobby, you can see additional stats under this section. You can see allies healed and allies shielded are a couple of stats. Or, I mean, healing done on allies or something like that. Effective shielding or whatever. Both of those stats show up somewhere around here, but once you're out of the post-game lobby, those stats go away, which is really dumb. They should make them stay. So we cannot reference to find out like how much I was actually assisting my team, but anyway. So yeah, I've been enjoying this current season because it makes it feel like I can pick whatever I want in jungle. So you can like counter pick or pick for better team synergy, which more often than not, at least in these lower ranks, means me just picking an enchanter. I don't mind picking Kane, for example. Let's see here. I picked him here in a normal draft game and lost, but I picked him here in a ranked game and won. So in this particular game, the reason why this build looks a little weird, like instead of this, for example, is because I was countered. So I was trying to minimize the damage that Poppy would deal to me because she could use her W to stop me from using my Q repeatedly. Like my Q will do 0 damage and I get knocked up and stuff. So I was building defensively, basically trying to get some HP but still have some good damage. So that's what this was all about. I believe I was planning to buy a Navori, so that way I could theoretically still get some Qs in. But anyways, I was realizing that I was making this mistake relatively early on because I was putting points into my Q rather than my W. Because against the Poppy, I can't use the Q for the most part because she keeps spamming her W. Anyways, yeah, I've been having some success with this Scorch Claw pup with both of these champions. I haven't tried it on everyone yet. I did notice that I was doing just fine with this particular jungle item on Senna, but it didn't seem very good on Kayn or Lulu, so I tried the Scorch Claw on them instead. Anyway. I still lost this game as Senna while getting this item, but we had some really bad players that game, so I don't know if that really counts. I'm probably still gonna try the Scorch Claw on her to see if it's super good though or not. I think it's worth it to try it, but I haven't had a chance to play Sun Jungle in a little while because I haven't been playing this game enough. Plus, I've just been enjoying like Lulu and Kane for the moment. But I've definitely won some games with Sun Jungle, and they've been honestly, I think it's easier to Senna jungle than it is to Lulu jungle. You have less worry about clear speed, and it's a little bit healthier. But um, you're also like a little bit more vulnerable to getting all in though by the enemy, so that's something to think about. As well as it, well, I think that's the main thing. I guess you could also say that you're not gonna get like your AD from your passive scaled up very fast just fighting jungle monsters. At least not for me personally. I feel like I am generally going to get more mist or essence or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna get more of that in a typical lane. Maybe not necessarily every lane. There's some matchups it's going to be really hard to get a decent amount of mist, but usually I can get a lot of mist on Senna in lane compared to in the jungle. So that's something to look out for. You're not necessarily going to have the same AD scaling, but it just sort of depends on matchups and stuff anyway. So I guess it's more consistent in jungle with Senna getting your mist, but it's also probably lower than average amount of mist that you would gather. So it's not a particularly strong Senna strategy in that regard, but I mean, if you are able to grab some gold, you know, which that is to say, I think the latest round of balance changes to the jungle actually hurt Senna jungle quite a bit because they subtracted from the gold income the junglers get, but they increased the experience income that the junglers get. But Senna cares more about her gold than her experience, so that's actually a net nerf for her. So even though I was having some success with her before the latest balance change, I think she's not going to be as good moving forward. But I think she's still going to be a viable choice. You're going to want to pick sometimes. So yeah, I'm probably still going to keep her in my roster. But for now, I think those are my four main picks for jungle. Is just these four right here. I could probably jungle just about anything I want though on this split. Like anything that's like mastery 6 or so. Well, probably not Yumi because she's just kind of garbage right now. Definitely not Rakan either or Sejuani. The only reason Sejuani is here is because I already got those tokens along with everybody else. These tokens before Sejuani got reworked. You know, like yeah, I've not gotten Essence and I don't even play her, so the only reason I brought her up because everyone is at 5 for a super long time. It wasn't until last year that I finally started using my tokens because I had so many Master 5 tokens. And so I haven't had very much time to try to get anybody to 7. That's why Kane's not there yet. If I had been spending his tokens as soon as I got him, he would already be 7. Same with Lux. And at least a few of these others, but anyway. That's about everything I wanted to show off, I guess, for now.